Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
And for this Twitter voted episode, we watched 17 again. No one told you life was gonna be this way. You're depressed now.
We're all in this together. Man.
I had somehow seen this, I think once, around the time it came out. I think it was, on TV, and I was house sitting for my grandparents, and I was like, that's a movie, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I remember it being alright, but, what about you guys? Had you guys seen this quite a bit, or...?
Yeah, I saw it, not quite a bit. I think I saw it in the same way you did, where it was like, I guess it's on. I think I was at that point where I was like, I don't want to watch these kinds of films because I was pretending to not like High School Musical. So I was like, eh. And then it was like, yeah, but it's got Zac Efron in it. I don't want to watch that. Turns out I did.
Yeah, he's pretty steamy.
Yeah. He's rather attractive in this film.
I'd never seen this before. It's just one that I'd totally missed, and then it's just I've never caught it. It's not on TV as far as I can tell. At least not when I'm going to watch it.
I think it was. It was on TV a lot at one point.
Maybe that was while I was in my oh my god I hate Zac Efron phase.
Yeah,
because I also had that phase because of High School Musical being like, oh my god, so popular, and everyone knew all the words, and I was like, that's so sad. And then I think when I was about 15, I got really sick and decided to watch all 3 films in one day.
Yeah,
nice. I had the same phase, but for Chandler Bing.
Were you guys into Friends?
I only watched it properly through for the first time, when it was on Netflix. I caught episodes here and there on Comedy Central, but it was never one that I was massively into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched Friends a lot, but on E4 because it was on at 4:00 when I got home from school.
Mm.
It was the only thing that was relatively good that was on, so I'd just sit and watch
Yeah.
Friends. So I've seen all the episodes, but not in any particular order.
And when it's on TV like that, it always seems to be the same episodes that are on.
It's the same thing. Remember when we watched the episode of New Girl that I made you guys watch, and it's that thing where it's it's on in random orders. You get 2 in a row because they'd always do the double bill, but you'd get season 3, episode 4, and episode 5, and then season 6, episode 1 and 2 the next day. It was never we're going to play all of them in a row.
That's how we used to watch House.
Yeah.
Because it was, we were really into it, but they'd show it on TF1, everyone's favourite
Never
channel.
Heard of that before.
Yeah, I've literally never heard of that before.
It's the BBC One equivalent in France, which, because we grew up on the coast, RTV picked up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to pick up some French channels as well.
Yeah, as soon as Brittany and everywhere went digital, RTV would pick it up, and sometimes even replace the BBC channels, and BBC One would end up being channel 800. But they'd show 2 episodes of House, and then if we were still really desperate or we thought it was going to be a good episode, they showed an extra 2 episodes on, I think, a different French channel, but those ones were dubbed.
It was actually +1. And you just watch the same ones again.
Yeah, but this time in French.
Yeah.
Sorry, just the idea that it's damn, the French coming over here taking our TV channel.
Oh yeah, that's what Nigel Farage's main campaign was, get our BBC channels back.
BBC back from the French, which may have been one of his slogans. I don't know.
It might have been. Yeah,
Sounds
something dumb
to
enough.
make up and yell about. Some reason to leave the EU is the French have the BBC.
Yeah, they've taken it hostage.
Made up reasons,
and they're broadcasting House in English.
It's the British Broadcasting Company, not the baguette croissant. Get it back.
It was quite good for my French, to be honest.
Yeah, you probably learned very specific phrases about medical history.
But the roundabout point I was getting to is that they also, I did occasionally watch Friends dubbed in French on the French channels. I'd never really sat down and watched Friends properly,
but
I recognised it, and I was like, the dubs weren't horrendous.
Mm.
So at school, we used to have to watch on a Friday afternoon when I was in primary school. We had to watch The Simpsons or Les Simpsons,
Les Simpsons.
and like Marge is like
Le Bar.
she's gravelly in the American, like she's gravelly with an American accent, with an American voice. She is like an 80-a-day throat cancer radiation therapy patient. On in the French one is like, oh no. Oh no!
Le Bert.
I see you, man.
Oh man. So
yeah, never really got on with the French dub of The Simpsons, but
French dub of Friends though.
yeah, French dub of Friends was all right. I think
also
because
voiced by that Phoebe, voiced by that voice actress. Friends was a weird show. Friends, like
I
in line
really
with
didn't
this,
like it. I think I tolerated it in French because it was more
It
of
was
like
in
a
French.
brain exercise, and it was kind of like
Yeah.
I knew it was. It was kind of I could kid myself that it was revision, or at least
like-
kid my mum that it was revision.
Back on topic with this podcast, I can say I kind of liked it when I was younger. It's shit.
Yeah.
It's a bit shit.
It's quite misogynistic. And
You're very.
Very quite homophobic as well.
Yeah.
And they had a monkey, and
Yeah. It's just weird. It's just a
and
weird
Ross
show.
just didn't deserve Rachel. She should have stayed on the plane.
Ross is a
like,
fucking
he's
arsehole.
just-
We can all
yeah,
agree.
he's
Ross
terrible.
is an arsehole.
Yeah.
I can't possibly comment. All I know is that they were on a break is like a thing that I've seen people say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they took that bit that was in Mr. Bean where they have the turkey on his head. Or-
Yeah.
Thieves.
But in 1989, Zac Efron was shooting hoops.
Yep. Zac Efron in High School Musical.
And
just a
shockingly
minute.
has not grown up to look like Chandler Bing, but
No.
oh well.
He's
He's
getting
alright.
there.
He's getting weirder looking, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the opening to this film is just High School Musical, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just setting up. Like to be fair, Zac Efron, unsurprisingly, is playing a cool guy,
Basketball player.
Cool
basketball
basketball, yeah.
player,
Captain of the
Josh?
basketball team. He's en
Who,
route
like-
to get a college scholarship. He's dead handsome, which was a stretch for him,
Yeah.
obviously, this role.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
that's
also,
difficult.
like,
Yeah, he's got a
isn't an
girlfriend.
arsehole.
Yeah.
His girlfriend's
he's-
like, what, the cheerleading captain or something?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
This film is basically High School Musical if he didn't use a condom.
it's High School Musical,
like-
but with less music and more witchcraft.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm gonna have a baby, and he's like, I'm gonna choose you over basketball, and then he grows up and becomes a depressed middle-aged man.
Yeah,
It's like 30 going on 13 going on 30, but backwards.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, and it's not a Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
no,
So yeah, he's playing cool guy, but also not an arsehole. It's friends with the nerdiest guy.
And he sticks up for the nerdiest guy as well. Like, he's his pal.
He runs in as a DM and says, which again, we all play D&D here. I assume everyone listening plays D&D. He runs in and says, as a DM, I couldn't leave my party fighting or whatever by themselves. I'm like, yeah, no, yes.
What they going to keep doing it with you
Yeah,
out there?
They
Like,
got to do it without you there.
yeah.
So yes, you can. You have the option to just end the game. Pause it.
My first criticism, as we might as well start with the criticisms early.
start.
The nerd stuff in this is written by people who are not nerds.
Yes, 100%.
yeah, it's so
all written by-
over the top ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
no one's actually like
And
that.
it's like, if you're
unless
going to
they
go
are.
that hard, like,
Yeah.
just ask someone. They existed. My mum taught herself Elvish. Those
Or
people
just-
exist.
Be funnier. Be funnier about it, and don't make the joke. He's a nerd. Ha 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 ha. Be like actually funny about it. I will say, as much as this film should have been really shit, I don't think it was.
No, I had
No,
a good time.
It was
Yeah.
pretty good,
I mostly
actually,
just looked
yeah.
at Zac Efron. But there's a lot of yeesh.
Yeah,
It's
There's a lot of
definitely-
ick.
Yeah, but yeah. So he goes off to find his girlfriend, and then says, "I will have children with you instead of playing basketball," because he makes the right decision. Because this film is, unlike High School Musical, not about basketball or singing.
Yeah.
It's about basketball and a girlfriend. This film tried like really hard in the opening thing to not make anyone the bad guy, like anyone, because the girlfriend isn't leaving him for because she's a bad person. She's leaving because she wants him to be good at to go on with basketball.
Yeah.
She can't
exactly.
do that.
It makes it
There's-
very clear that it's his choice. Like, she's like, I'm breaking up with you, basically. I'm going to do this on my own. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. So no one in the
it's
opening is-
impossible to play basketball and be a dad at the same time.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
I
Impossible.
also thought, like, that's really short-sighted in that, like, oh shit, I've got a kid on the way. Better get a really good sports scholarship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not like he's gonna like use the baby as a basketball, is it? Like, it's not that bad.
I mean, I assume not.
But yeah,
No.
he
The kid turns out relatively normal, so...
Yeah.
Exactly. They're not ball shaped. It's fine.
so we skip ahead 20 years?
About it's 2009, so yeah, 20 years. Yeah,
20 years.
that took way too long
Yeah.
for the maths in my head
Big,
too.
big Zac Efron has become Matthew Perry. Yeah? That's his name?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, his
Benny from
daughter's
Fallout New
18,
Vegas.
isn't she? Is she 18 or 17?
17?
I think she's 18. Going on 18 because she must be 18, I hope, because gross, but also it's gross anyway, but also obviously she's the older one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it must
it's
be about 18, 19
it must have been
years,
the 19 years, because if it had been over that, she'd have been older.
Yeah. So, yeah, he wakes up as Matthew Perry. He's sleeping in his nerdy friend's house, mansion.
Yeah, because he's
Sorry.
being divorced by his wife
Mansion.
because his wife is like, you've literally resented me from the moment you didn't get that basketball scholarship, and you've like
Which, yeah.
moaned about our relationship the entire time.
To
And
be
you're
fair,
a miserable
she
old fucker.
she is at no point in the wrong.
No,
put it
no,
that
absolutely.
Also, by the way, the daughter's 17
Yeah.
because she's in the same class as him. The
Oh,
film
yeah.
is literally called 17 again.
Look, maybe he's a young
was-
17.
Yeah, I was just going by the fact that it started in 1989 and then it came out in 2009. So
The film is called 17 again.
yeah,
They are in the same class.
that doesn't seem like it
Maybe
should have
she
been
got
that
held
hard to work out.
She may have got held back.
Yeah.
Also, I don't.
Well, she could have been 18 if she was born in September
I don't
Yeah,
think.
it's,
and he was
Uh,
born
it-
in August.
I don't.
It's
I
all
don't-
those years of being used as a basketball. It really delayed her
I don't
education.
think his mom, like, I don't think when she was a cheerleader she was pregnant. I think she was just leaving him because he couldn't, like, she wanted him to go off and be successful.
No, she's clutching her tummy. Like, she's
Yeah,
definitely
that's-
pregnant.
It's at that point that she says that she's pregnant. Yeah.
Huh.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's got kicked out of his house. His kids hate him. He
Yeah.
doesn't get the promotion because that's a staple in these movies.
Yeah, his
Um,
life needs to be as bad as possible. He needs
And
to
the
be a
first
bad
kind
person.
of misogynistic thing is like, oh, it goes to a woman who's good at selling erectile dysfunction drugs with her boobs because she's a slut that we hate.
bad person, awful person, terrible person because she's a woman.
But you'd also think,
Yeah.
isn't that a bad sales tactic? Because they might be like, oh wow, you're really fit. Hold on a second. I
No,
don't
actually, I
need
don't need
these.
them
I don't need the tablets anymore. Can I just get
No,
your
no, no.
photo?
Oh,
Yeah, he's staying with his nerd friend who is now a billionaire because he sold some invention he
he
made.
sold the software that's used to stop music from being pirated. He also sold the software that makes easy pirating music possible.
So he made LimeWire and then he made Metallica.
Yes. Which, like, to be, I like the nerd friend. I
Yeah.
like him. He's funny. I just wish the joke wasn't he's a nerd.
Yeah, I really liked his like, oh, he's really awkward around this woman, and he's not. He's still a nerd, and but he's a nerd living his best life. But I
Yeah,
didn't
he's-
like that. It's like
Like he's
again
happy
the
that he's a
the
nerd,
wearing
but
the
yeah.
woman down thing.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah, that was a bit like, oh, just fucking take a hint, mate.
Yeah, like she said, no, stop asking.
But I'm glad I was thinking, oh, maybe he'll like break and say,
Yeah.
look, I'm not really Zac Efron's dad. He's actually my best friend from high school who's been turned into a 17-year-old.
That's harder to
Through
explain.
magic, yeah.
Through witchcraft, obviously.
Yeah,
So,
janitor
yeah.
witchcraft.
So so
He's
Matthew
having a bad
Perry.
day.
old Zac Efron has a bad day. How does he get to? Where does he meet the janitor? I've
He
completely
goes
forgotten.
back to the school and looks at
That's
the
it.
picture of him when he was on the
By the way,
basketball team.
creepy.
Yeah.
That's incredibly creepy.
Yeah,
What?
how'd he get in?
Can people just?
Oh, well,
I
he's
know-
picking up his kids, I guess. Actually, it's not that weird.
But like that's sad. That to be like, oh, it's goes like that's both creepy and sad.
It is sad, and it shows like this. He peaked into high school, and he's lived a bitter existence ever since. Like it is sad.
Yeah.
He's really ungrateful for what he's got.
Yeah, one great kid. One great kid.
Yeah, and one girl that needs a bit of therapy.
Yeah.
Well, she's Buffy the Vampire's sister. Of course she needs help.
Yeah, she's not technically a human.
Exactly.
But yeah, so yeah, he meets a magical janitor, because obviously, magical janitor, who makes him 17 again.
He falls into a big CGI whirlpool off a bridge, and then he's Zac Efron again.
Makes up, he's 17 again, as Zac Efron.
Oh yeah, Ned, the nerdy guy, just like attacks him because he's
Tries
like,
to
"Who the
kill
fuck are you? Why are you in my house?"
Yeah, tries to kill him.
And we do have a fairly funny, nerdy thing there, where it's like they're fighting with swords and shields,
then
but it goes too far,
yeah.
and then it goes to the lightsaber thing, and it's just like those aren't fighting lightsabers.
Yeah. I mean, no lightsabers are fighting lightsabers. It's very hard for them to be fighting lightsabers. They're plastic. The nerd guy explains, like, you've been made younger. You need to, like, better yourself to be... He explains the plot of the film.
Yeah, he's a nerd. He's seen movies like this before. He knows what needs to happen.
Yeah, he's like, you need to find your spirit guide.
You need to be a better person, and you'll turn back into yourself.
Oh, we've missed the part where he he falls off a bridge into the vortex.
Yeah. He sees the janitor about to jump off, and he like leans over to try and get him. And
Janitor fucking kills himself.
Yeah.
I guess is that like a homage to It's a Wonderful Life?
Probably.
Maybe not seen it.
Probably.
Oh, we've got to watch that as well. But I will also cry. But also, it's a Christmas movie.
Is it actually a Christmas movie, or is it?
Yeah,
it's
a real Christmas movie. It's set at Christmas. It's set at Christmas. It's snowing. It ends with a carol, and it's about suicide.
Fucking Easter. Okay, it's very much a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So they decide to go back to high school because Zac Efron wants to. We're going to call him Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his name? Hayden. It wasn't
remember.
Hayden. That was the school.
No, that was the school.
Well, I can't remember.
Mark?
Maybe
No.
Mike. I think he's Mark when he's older and Mike when he's younger.
Oh, he's Mike. Yeah, he's Michael.
Yeah.
So Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, you really should have remembered that, Michael.
No, I ignore everyone that has my name. I don't know any other Michaels because of that. But yeah, they decide to go back to school. To be able to get into school, his dad talks his nerdy friend into pretending to be his dad.
Yeah.
Which I swear signing up to a school is harder than that.
Yeah, but you know what they're like about like state boundaries and
Yeah, creepy.
Yeah.
Weird.
I actually have no idea how you sign up for school in America because like in England,
No
like
idea.
you do it on a website now, I think, and you have to be like do it way in advance.
Yeah.
I like how he dresses how he thinks is cool.
Yeah.
Which is what would have been cool, 18 years ago, and he just looks like an absolute douchebag.
He's a fucking moron.
Yeah, and so Ned's like, right, we're using my money to go and get you some clothes to make you look like a sexy Zac Efron.
And then he wears like the literal stuff he wears in High School Musical.
Yeah.
Yes.
I swear this one and High School Musical 3 were filmed at the same time. They just sort of used the same wardrobe.
They're saying it's it's a reference to High School Musical.
No, it's the same wardrobe. They saved money that way. I know it. But yeah, he turns up with a sports car because I guess he also bought him a sports car. How much money does this man have?
I think a lot.
He's a billionaire, yeah.
The infinite amount of money.
Sort of tech giant because he also spends a ridiculous money on presents for the school.
Yeah.
So I guess just too much money, basically.
But yeah,
he's like, date me or I'll buy Twitter.
Yeah, nerd guy falls in love with the head teacher,
who I think is Jan from The Office.
Maybe.
Yes, it is Jan from The Office.
Yeah,
This film is wild. But that's like, and then it sets up. He goes and the rest of this film is weird because it shouldn't be good, right? Like, this film just shouldn't be good.
Yeah.
I think like Zac Efron is just so charming in it that you get a bit swept up in it.
He is.
But he basically he decides that his spirit journey the path the janitor has set him on is first he's like, oh, it's to improve, it's to redo that and make the right choices this time, which he thinks is, get a basketball scholarship.
Yeah,
but then he realizes very quickly, because of the divorce, that it's to better his kids' lives and actually be part of their lives.
Well, it's not even to better them; it's to just get to know them as people, because he doesn't know his kids.
Because he thinks his son is already on the basketball team, but it turns out his son is just being
his son's
bullied.
A fucking nerd.
Yeah, his son's being bullied by the bleached hair douchebag that is actually on the basketball team, who, surprise, his daughter is dating.
Yeah, he's a proper weird douche as well.
So I don't. Are American schools actually like this? Because he wouldn't be the bully in British schools. Because he's just fucking weird. Stan.
Yeah, he's just really aggressive. He's not particularly good looking.
No, that I disagree with.
Oh, okay. Well,
good looking.
It does it for some people, apparently.
But he is just fucking odd.
Yeah, he's weird. It's one of those things, isn't it? I have no idea how much stake, how cool it is to be captain of a basketball team. We just don't have that at school. We had people that were sporty. We had one girl in my year that was really, really sporty.
Yeah.
And it was oh, cool, good for her. The same way other people had other cool hobbies. It was cool to see her on TV winning, because she was in athletics and stuff, and it was very, very good for her age.
That's cool.
I had a weirder connection to my school with this movie, actually. This kid that went to my school got cast in the musical of High School Musical in London.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
As Zac Efron.
Nice. He was 17 again.
He was.
That's good for your self-esteem.
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, no, if you're head of the football team, or God forbid the basketball,
I could not tell you who was the team captain of our football team at school when I was in my final year.
If you were that fucking proud of it, you'd be called a football nerd. You'd be called a football. Well, you'd be called worse things.
Yeah.
But you'd just be told to fuck off.
In American films, it always seems because a lot of plot points in American films seem to be about getting a football scholarship or something. Because I think college football and college sports are quite a big deal.
Well, they're a massive deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that over here.
Whereas I just would not care. If someone was if a boy was oh yeah, I'm
head of the.
I've been spotted for, I don't know, Arsenal or something. I'll be oh, that's really cool, well done. But I wouldn't be and now I want your pants.
Yeah, I want your underwear, please.
I was you sound like you're going to be really busy a lot, actually.
Good for you.
That's not convenient.
Stressful. And you're probably going to be underpaid for it to begin with. But yeah, it's not even that. It's he's just head of the football, which isn't. Yeah. It's not even a special position. I don't know what that means, because they have a coach. What does the head of the basketball team do?
The captain. It's the captain. They tend to have the not the best role, but they'll be the centre forward or the centre. Is it called a centre in?
So I have no idea. But so they just play a position.
They might do things like give advice. They might practice run practices and do other organizational sides of it, I guess.
I get that at professional sports level that a coach, captain does a lot. I can't imagine a high school, and also I can't.
They might also shout directions, so where people to go, so guiding the rest of the team. They might talk to people about what went well afterwards.
I can't imagine the coach letting this guy do that though. This guy's a psychopath.
Yeah,
I can't imagine the coach being yeah, you deal with this kid. Yeah.
But then again, this coach has sat on his laurels for 20 years.
That's true.
No, exactly.
Yeah, because it's the same coach.
It's the same coach.
Yeah. Maybe the kid who's head of the basketball team, he was the kid that was used as a ball as a child. That's why he's like that.
I want to know what his family life is like, because it's got to be fucking awful.
Not good.
To act
yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm basing what I know of one High School Musical, which I'm led to believe isn't particularly accurate.
No, they all have to do a musical degree. It's weird.
And then what did Jim and I watch that was really Friday Night Lights? and that's all about an American high school, but it's grim. It's sort of not like Skins kind of grim, because it's based around it's the kids and the teachers. But it's a bit more grisly.
Anything I can think of that I watched that had like that kind of sports thing in it was Teen Wolf, the TV show where they played lacrosse.
That's wild.
It's also grisly, but for different reasons.
Yeah. I know American schools are actually like that, where they have like head of the football team and everything. But I can't imagine anyone actually caring.
No.
Not
I just remember being a teenager and being like so worried. Like basically, I had A level, and then I was a band nerd, I guess is what you'd call it if you're an American. But like, oh god, I was just studying or watching bad films at Dan's house.
Yeah, people just don't care. Over here, people really don't care kind of what you do as an extracurricular activity.
We're all just encouraged to do something to put on our personal statement for university.
You kind of get mocked anyway. It doesn't really matter if you do something or not. The arseholes are going to take the piss out of you.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you're not allowed to enjoy anything.
Yeah.
There is nothing is cool in England. That is the important thing, is absolutely nothing. If you don't care enough, fucking uncool. If you care too much, uncool.
Like, as soon as I leave the house, people are like, podcast wanker.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Deserve to be mocked, and you deserve to be mocked for it.
Exactly. We're all nerds.
Everything is uncool.
So who, out of the three of us, who do you think was the biggest nerd at high school? I guess 17 to 18.
We're pretty even.
Yeah, I'd say quite equal, to be honest.
I barely existed as a human at that age. Like I was unnoticeable.
Yeah, I was just kind of there, but it was like, at that sort of age, it's weird because I found that here when I was getting to that sort of like end of year 11 and then into sixth form, all the kids that were like douchebag bullies kind of also grew up a bit, and everyone was just kind of chill with each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like sixth form was way
everyone
calmer. Just getting on with stuff.
Everyone's like, oh fuck, we're gonna be adults now.
We've been adults and we really haven't learned anything.
No. Yeah. You get that. You always get that one arsehole that kind of stayed the school bully, and everyone was like, ew, grow up.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't really have any. Not really in my year. Was there anyone that was like we all bullied each other.
Yeah,
but there wasn't like there was no psychopath Stan like there is in this one.
It is just fucking odd. And like,
because it wouldn't be tolerated if you tried to be that. We had one kid that had severe anger issues, I guess is the most similar thing, but everyone knew that he was,
short,
severely.
Just leave him alone. Like,
well, he had a lot of issues and a lot of he had quite he was struggling quite a lot with anger management, but also ASD, and just struggled in general.
Which is again.
Yeah, it's just like people were like, "Oh, it's not his fault," but then people were upset when I remember he punched someone and they punched him back, and then the person that punched him got in trouble, but he didn't.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that happens to me as well.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
But everyone was like, "You shouldn't have punched him," and he's like, "I've got problems." It's like that doesn't really matter when you punch someone.
Yeah, like socially. I also feel like teachers couldn't give a shit either about stuff like this.
Nah.
No, teachers probably have bets on who's getting bullied and who's going to fight back first.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you get in trouble, because the teacher that loses is like, fuck you.
You don't tell anyone you punched him back, okay? None of the other teachers. Yeah.
I was bullied in primary school, but I think I've talked about her before, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone got it in their head that they had to be the most popular girl and everyone had to do what they said, and I was like, I don't want to do what you say.
Yeah.
And then she was like, well, now everyone's going to hate you, and I was like, I don't think that you can do that. But no, it turns out you can, actually.
Yeah.
But I think what this film demonstrated to me, at least, that the key thing to being successful and popular in high school in America is to be rich.
And to be Zac Efron. Yeah.
And to be, and also just gobsmackingly handsome.
Rich and or good looking is about it. But also, Stan is a psychopath. The condom scene, fucking mental. No one would take that person seriously.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Absolutely. Okay, so condom scene, it's not as bad as it sounds. But one of the teachers is
fucking Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah. No, one of the teachers is like, that would be a very different film if they did that. That would be like a way more sinister turn for 17 again.
You know, if someone did that, they should go to jail.
Stan was like leaving full condoms behind for this girl. Because that's what he did. But yeah, no, Stan, they're in a classroom and the teacher's like, I need to talk to you about sex ed. And the American sex ed, which is abstinence, is the only option.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it is kind of funny how Zac Efron's like, it's true, no one should be having sex. When it's like, well, yeah, you're only saying that because you fucked up.
Yeah.
No, because his daughter's right there and he wants to know, he's trying to get his daughter to say that she's not having sex.
Yeah, he doesn't want her to have sex, but also having sex made him who he is now.
Yeah.
And like 17 again, and every girl in the room and a couple of the guys went, fuck, damn it.
Yeah.
Of course he's a fucking weird eunuch guy. Of course he's like weirdly celibate. But she starts handing around condoms because she understands that teens are gonna do that. You can't teach abstinence only. It doesn't work.
It very much remind me of the Mean Girls sex education.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she hands out condoms and Stan grabs a handful and goes, oh, you're going to get... He does the thing where he's like, oh, I'm going to use all of these in one go. Which is
he takes the whole
good.
box. He's like, I've got enough for tonight now. It's like...
That's not good.
No.
By the way, my dude. That's not healthy.
I do feel like, I'm not speaking from experience here, having never been a teenage boy, and I realise I'm potentially saying things that you might disagree with, but there's definitely some teenage boys that were just wanking furiously.
Yeah. No,
like,
100%.
at any chance they could get. And
no, 100%.
Yeah, but you don't need a condom for that. So.
Yeah.
Isn't it called a posh wank?
Yes,
That's what they call it at school.
It's called a posh wank. Yeah, no, you could brush against something and it would happen. You had no choice when we had hormones. No choice in the matter.
And this film shows how dumb teenagers are, and then I'm like, oh my god, these kids are so dumb, and then I'm like, they're just kind of kids, actually. Yeah, we were dumb too.
If Stan was in England, people would take the piss out of him so much. He would not be the cool kid.
Not with his bleach blonde hair.
No, not at all. I forgot about the bleach.
They just start calling him the Milky Bar Kid, and then that'd be it.
Yeah.
Every time he'd go and he'd bend over, someone would chuck a Milky Bar at him.
Yeah. Or no, people would call him Milky. It would be the Milky Bar Kid, and then you just get called Milky, and that's so horrible. Imagine your high school nickname being called Milky.
Milky.
For like 2 weeks. Horrible.
Okay, actually, yeah, I've seen. Okay, there's photos of him with his hair like pushed back away from his face, and he does look very handsome.
Right.
Yeah. But in this film, he's like, it's very yellow dye job blonde, and so the only scene from this film that I'd ever seen before, which I've seen in clips on like TikTok and Instagram Shorts or whatever, is the Zac Efron properly putting the bully in his place, putting Stan in his place.
Yeah. He does the speech. He's like, oh, Stan.
And he's like spinning a basketball like the whole time to like prove that he's good at basketball.
Because he was in High School Musical.
And also he did that's not effects.
No, he did that because he was in High School Musical.
Yeah.
I read the thing and it was like, he did all of his own like basketball stunts. Yeah, of course he did.
He did.
Like,
he was in...
4 years ago, he did a whole movie about dancing with basketball.
Didn't do his own singing though.
No, someone else. Well, for the later ones, he did.
He actually struggled not to bounce the basketball to the rhythm of a song. That was the difficult bit for him.
Yeah, his big hat kept trying to dance, and they were like, Zach, no, wrong film. I know you're also filming High School Musical 3 right now. But yeah, no, he kind of has a go at Stan. Makes him small, tells him he has a small dick.
And I think it's what's quite funny about that is that he's putting down Stan in quite an intelligent way, and he's like he is really confident, and he's got. I mean, it's kind of harsh in that he's an adult really laying into a kid. The kid fucking deserves it though.
But like kid that clearly has a bad home life and like has some other stuff. Like this film's all about empathy and feeling for people, apart from Stan can go fuck himself.
That's and it's like the first thing I'm gonna do, Stan, is like call your parents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, That is what a parent would do.
That's what a parent would say. And then he has a go at him in like you're just making up for something. You have a tiny dick, pretty much.
Yeah, he's like, there's a small girl inside you, like, crying. And that's why you put on this bravado. And I don't know if that's I don't think it's like an anti-trans joke in the way it's said. I think it's more just like you're covering you're covering up for you're insecure and you're putting this on this act to sort of beat people to it.
Yeah, I think it was just belittling him. And then the room of people cheer, don't they?
Yeah, and then everybody clapped.
Fucking wouldn't happen in this one.
I'm amazed no one had lobbed a tray at him.
Yeah, he would have got punched like immediately.
I'm amazed anyone else was even listening. Like, kids are so self-absorbed. I had no idea what was happening to like
anyone else
95% of my year, because I would sort of vaguely know what was happening to my friends, but I mostly didn't care because it wasn't, unless it was about me.
Specifically about you, yeah. Yeah, people, after that speech, people would just go on back to eating and be like, thank God he stopped fucking talking.
Like, unless it's a fight, no one cares. The fight scene is funny, though.
Yeah.
Did that happen? That happens before, doesn't it?
That's later when they're at the party, yeah.
No, the first one, where
they fight during the condom scene.
Yeah.
Because...
Oh, yeah.
And that gets filmed and shared around.
Yeah.
I did like that joke, whereas... he's like trying to play it down, and obviously his fake dad's been called.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, it was pretty even fight. And his dad's like, his fake dad's like, it didn't look like it from the YouTube clip I got sent.
But yeah,
by the way, Stan famously of Eminem's.
Yeah, it's the Eminem Stan. Yeah.
Same character.
But yeah, Zac Efron essentially he helps his ex-wife, who is Leslie Mann, who's great. He like helps her with her landscaping things. He helps his son make the basketball team because his son was being bullied by Stan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, I'm my brother's son." So he's like Uncle Ernie's son, like bastard child.
Which I love how no one is like, that's a bit, we've never heard of you.
It was, we didn't tell anyone because I'm a bastard.
Yeah, and how come you look exactly like my dad when he was like
Well, I think the whole idea is that he's related.
Yeah. No, he's not. He's not related because
no, it's Ned's
son.
Yeah, like the rich guy. It's his son apparently. They call him Uncle Ned in that kind of like friends calling them uncle kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was saying he was his friend. Like, I thought he was just hoping they wouldn't know that it was it was his friend's dad.
No, it's his friend. It's the nerd. He's playing the nerd son.
Oh, what's the nerd called again?
Ned.
Oh, Ned. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you said it was Ernie, Uncle Ernie. I've just whatever. I made that make more sense in my head.
But
so I was like, if he'd said it was if Mike had a brother, then it would have made sense for his son to look quite a lot like him, I guess.
Yeah. Nope, don't look anything like him.
But no one ever notices that it looks like him, apart from the ex-wife when she's like, he looks a bit like how Mike used to look when he was younger.
You know,
she's like, he looks bloody similar.
Yeah.
And she's like, isn't that uncanny? And then thankfully, like the friend is like, yeah, the divorce is definitely taking something out of you. That's a like, you know, back away from the child.
By the way, good friend, good solid friend.
Oh yeah.
But again, how did no one go, oh yeah, no, family friend who we've been friends with for literally ever, never mentioned he had a son the same age as our kids?
I think it's just that he didn't realise.
Well, they were saying, he was just so ashamed. To be fair, it's a lot easier for a man to hide their child than a woman most of the time.
But like, that would change my opinion of him.
Yeah, but you never see the parents interact with each other, like the fake dad and his ex-wife.
Fully just like, you ignored your son for 17 years because you were ashamed of him. I'd be so angry.
It sounds like he needs to be 17 again.
Yeah, he needs to be 17 again. The mum shouts at him and he's like, I don't understand what that means.
Watch the movie.
But yeah, the mum falls in love with him again, which is weird.
It is so weird because he's so young. Like, he's 17.
Yeah, which is illegal in America.
Yep.
It's also illegal here, mostly. Fucking weird. Because, yeah, he's just flirting with his...
And she even acknowledges it, and she's like, oh, I know this, like, cougar... Mothers I'd like to, thing is really big with you teenage boys right now, but, we've got to keep it appropriate.
Yeah.
And then she is so inappropriate.
She's like, maybe, though.
She's like, well, he has got that cute butt.
Maybe, though.
Ooh, maybe I can teach him to dance.
Yeah.
But he sees that he didn't respect his wife. He really dismissed, she was like, I want to run a landscaping business. And he's like, yeah, whatevs.
Yeah. He's like, oh, it's a fun side project for you.
Like little wife's project. Well, he makes the money kind of thing. And she makes a really amazing landscape garden. Yeah. And he helps by being like, helpful cousin.
Yeah, moving stuff, flirting with her
so much, to the point where even his son is like, dude, what the fuck?
Creepy.
Stop perving on my mum.
But again, her friend, solid. Let's get drunk, complain, and divorce him.
So because he's also on the basketball team, because you can't have Zac Efron in a film and not have him on the basketball team.
Especially if he's playing a high schooler.
Yeah, it's in his contract. Yeah. And but he has like the final decision to make, and he could have thrown it to Stan to score, but instead he throws it to his son. So his son scores the winning ball. Yeah. He's also been like helping his son practice loads and loads and loads, so he knew his son could do it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like a 3-pointer. They have a victory party, and this is where it goes from, oh, this is a bit uncomfortable, to, wow, this is really uncomfortable.
It goes, it kind of goes full, like, Back to the Future kind of.
Yeah, it has a full Back to the Future reference in it.
Yeah.
So Zac Efron is telling his daughter, the girl in this, don't date Stan, because it's weird.
Yeah.
He's an arsehole, he's creepy, don't date Stan.
And by the time it gets to the party, he has broken up with her because she wouldn't have sex with him.
Yep.
So
he turns up, Stan turns up to the party, is drunk.
So Stan, after he 17 again, boy, what's his name? Zac Efron is like, a victory party at mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at this point Ned has a date with the principal, so the billionaire's house is free. So he's like, yeah, I'll have a party here, and everyone's just pissing about with his like lightsabers and stuff.
I mean, as you would.
Yeah,
again,
like kids in a proverbial candy shop.
British house party. They would have been out of their fucking minds. They would have been so.
Oh, there would have just been vomit in like every helmet.
So drunk, so high, and on everything. And it would have been like an episode of Skins. It would have been great. But also, like, no one would care that they'd won. no one would care.
But so yeah, he ends up.
Yeah, we're like, well, we're having a victory party, and I'm like, what's that? And it'd be like, we've bought loads of booze because we won a football match. It's like, oh sweet, what booze have you got?
Yeah, what you got? Oh, throwing it in like my billionaire dad's. Sure. Fuck yeah.
But yeah, Stan's at this party, and
there'd have been a fight.
He's
like someone would have caught. There would have been like
a bigger fight than what happens in the movie.
The one punch.
Because Stan's being a dick, and Zac Efron's like, look, leave now, or I'll phone the police because you've been drinking.
Stan's drunk.
And then when Stan leaves, he's like,
really so fucking funny. Yeah. He's like, you're clearly drunk. I'll call the police. Like. It felt
it's
so
a house
strange. Party. Because again, like everyone would be drunk.
Yeah. But yeah, when Stan leaves, he's like, oh, good luck with her. She doesn't put out anyway. So Zac Efron turns to punch him and misses, and Stan just knocks him out.
He wakes up with his head in the lap of his daughter.
He thinks that he's just been asleep and had a weird dream as well. And then she's like, trying it on with him.
Yep. She's like, oh, I know why you didn't want me to do it.
The standard traumatized girl technique of, I will give affection to anyone who is nice to me.
Yeah. She spells out pretty solidly, though. She tells us what is happening, which is, I know why you didn't want me to date Stan, because you want me. And he's like, fuck no.
Yeah, that's and creepy. Then when he's like trying to get away, and she's like, are you confused? He's like, I'm very confused. And then she thinks he's gay, because that's funny.
By the way, it would have made a lot more sense if he just said yes.
It would have saved him a lot of hassle.
It would have saved him so much time and so many problems, because then it would just be like, okay, that's it. Because he doesn't have to worry about, like, he doesn't have to be like, oh, everyone at school. No, he shouldn't care. He's an adult. But he reacts so like,
I'm not gay.
Oh, he reacts like a teenager. And it was like, oh yeah, this was.
But that's how it was 2008.
Yeah. Again, now that would have just been a part of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's gay. Oh, okay.
But
do you think he should? Do you think he should? And then it would just be a conversation of which other hot gay boy in their school he should hook up with.
I mean, it would have made so much fucking sense as well if he was just like, yes, I am, because then she would have been like, oh, you like Stan? Well, Stan's an arsehole. Like, that would have still made sense.
You want Stan for yourself.
Yeah, like, that would have still made sense, and you could have still had the daughter be angry at him. I don't know. Like, it's just that, like, detail felt really strange and aged horribly.
I mean, the whole thing was just so cringy. So the sitting in the head in the lap thing, I think, is the reference to Marty McFly coming to, and it's like he's in his mum's lap.
Yeah.
Also so, creepy then. Creepy in that film. Everyone watched it and it's like, that's creepy. And then 17 again is like, well, let's do it.
Again. Let's do some light incest. Creepy. Some light incest. At the same time, cut to the nerd on a date, and it turns out that she's also really nerdy and can speak Elven.
Nope, they speak elf, apparently.
No, they speak elf.
Because no one did any fucking research into the nerdiness in this film.
They speak like Will Ferrell.
Yes.
But yeah, they end up getting together, and then they go back to Ned's house and break up the party.
Yeah.
She uses her teacher voice, which is actually pretty hot.
Mm-hmm. No, she's hot. She is.
She is still, to me, just Jan from The Office, who is such a ridiculous character that I do sort of struggle a little bit, but I'll make allowances. It worked in this film. It worked.
To be fair, as like a teacher, she's kind of hot.
But yeah, the next day he's supposed to be at the divorce court. I like how I do like the scene of Ned when he's cleaning, and he's like, and finally I'm done, and then it zooms out and he's like, this rug, now the rest of the house.
Hire a cleaner, dude. Just, you have enough money to buy.
Well, there were cleaners and stuff in the other rooms, weren't there? It did pan out to like other people cleaning up.
Good.
Yeah.
Because part of me was like, oh my god, he should make Zach do it. Then I realised I was like, oh yeah, but Zach is just an adult.
Like it's just his
he's not actually a 17-year-old.
So you should be punished. You act like a 17-year-old, get punished like a 17-year-old. But yeah, no. So they go to court for the divorce.
Yeah, he goes to the divorce court. Yeah, and he goes in. He's like,
we forgot to mention earlier on, in like at the beginning of the film, when he just gets 17'd again. He sat in a classroom and he gets a phone call from her because she's in like a divorce settlement or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's in the classroom and like, I like this. I like that bit where one of the girls asked him, and he's like, oh, it's just cheerleaders. No, dude, no.
Yeah, did not sound good.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, when he's at the divorce court, and he's like, oh, we've got a letter from Mike, because obviously nobody's seen Chandler from Friends.
Well, he said he's like out the country. He had to leave the country, but was not specific.
Yeah, but he's like, oh, we've got this letter that he left, and he reads from it, and he's saying how, like, he blamed her for his failures and how much he loved her and loved being a dad and stuff. And then when he leaves, she realizes that on the note is just the address of the courthouse.
Yeah,
and she's like, oh my god, we want to postpone it. Yeah.
Oh my god, fucking weird stalker child teenager fucking stalking me and then pretending to be my like ex-husband that I'm divorcing. That's fucking weird. How long have you been watching me for, child? But no, she makes the obvious logical jump, which is, oh my god, my husband has been 17'd again.
Yeah, the obvious thing. So she's like, well, she postpones it and then goes to the basketball game where he's at, and there's another scout there, and it's like cool, and he does like a little thing on the pitch to her, and it's at that point that she's like, oh my god, it is him, and it's like,
he kind of
that long
just stands there and does like hand swish, which I imagine then like his daughter went, see, gay.
Oh yeah, the daughter's like, oh god, mum, he's not into you, he's into me.
No, gay. Because he does the hand motion. He literally puts his hand up and does limp wrist. So she realizes that, oh my god, he is actually my husband. Oh my god, he's been 17'd again.
Yeah, she's like, I can't be here. I'm gonna leave, and she goes back down the same corridor.
Yeah, that she's like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna miss my because obviously Zach. It's her son's. The reason she's at the match is that it's her son's first game.
Yeah, Sam is on the team,
and she's like, nah, fuck this. This is weird.
That's
I'm going.
Fucking weird. I feel slightly less creepy about like flirting with this child now.
It's like. It would make me feel better about myself if he had been 17 again, but then also, I would have a lot of questions.
Yeah. like questions to ask myself.
Yeah, he throws the ball to Sam instead and runs back down after her. And when he's running down the tunnel, he turns back into old Chandler Bing, but he's wearing the basketball uniform.
Yeah.
He doesn't look hot anymore.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. And they're like, oh my god, we love each other, and then it just kind of ends.
He's like, a janitor killed himself for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's can you explain what happened? And he's like, nope. It's like, fair. I think it's better that he doesn't try and explain.
Yeah.
No, at all.
He's like, I don't have a fucking clue, mate.
The fucking weirdest part is so, like, they make up whatever, and she's like, oh my god, it was actually you. And then she says, like, oh, you're going to get the six-pack back. And he's like, haha, no. That's funny. She wanted to fuck a 17-year-old. Because she's like, I like the way he looked.
I bet part of her is thinking, I wish I could have just fucked him when he was 17, knowing that he's an adult.
Yeah.
But fuck that 17-year-old again.
He's an adult that looks like Zac Efron.
Yeah, and we'll have the body and the stamina.
Creepy, by the way. That's creepy for an adult to do that, even if it isn't. It's fucking weird, but it's the fact that she's like, which meant that she wanted to.
Oh yeah,
because she mentioned it. It meant that she wanted to. That's fucked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They at the end they're like back together, and he becomes the basketball coach as well for the team.
Yeah, because he was. I mean, one of the things was that he got fired, didn't he? So he needed a job. Yeah. But it's one of the reasons he didn't get like questioned. Oh, where are you? Why aren't you at work? Which was convenient.
Yeah, I did like how the sort of stylized credits as well was like of the high school pictures of the people that made the movie.
I like that.
I like nice when they do fun things like that. Cool. Yeah.
What happened to Stan? Do we ever find out what happened to Stan?
Oh, it doesn't do the thingy. Oh, what's it called?
The Sandlot.
The Sandlot, but it's referencing something else, isn't it?
Stand by me.
Stand by me. Yeah, it doesn't stand by me. The end.
By me. Yeah.
Because like his home life is fucked. It's just awful.
It turned out that he had also been 17 again by who's that absolute cunt from SNL? I can't remember his name.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Yeah,
really he was in some movies. He fucked the Kardashians.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, he was. Pete Davidson got 17 again and became Stan. That's why he was a cunt.
Both main Stan's way better looking.
I'm just going by the hair. But yeah, this kind of held up in a way I didn't expect it to. It wasn't bad.
It was a fun watch as an adult. I think as a teenager, you'd be like, okay, yeah, this is just another Zac Efron film, isn't he? So cute, and you'd kind of dismiss the Chandler Bing, he's an adult thing quite easily. But as an adult, you're like, he is an adult man. These teenage girls are throwing themselves at him. But then also in the back of my mind, and I was chatting to Jim about it, it was like, oh, come on. Like, if that happened to someone else, they wouldn't just be absolutely ploughing their way through the 17-year-old girls.
No, adult, no. No, see, like, as a teenager, it was like, oh, yeah, no, older guys are whatever, right? Mm-hmm. As an adult, I look at someone that's like 17 and I'm like, you're a fucking child.
Yeah, you're a little baby.
You're an actual child. No.
You need to go home and wear some sensible shoes.
Yeah, you're an actual child.
You're gonna grow up and you're gonna get plantar fasciitis and you're gonna really hate the fact that you used to wear heels.
Even like 19 and 20 is still like, you're a child, right?
But again, like, this guy is Chandler Bing has the, like he was saying, he has like the energy and the appetite of a 17-year-old. Surely he's also got the hormones.
No, 100%. But that's still like, you look at a 17-year-old and you see a child, right? You don't see a person. You see a child. You know what I mean?
Hope so.
Though, right?
I
hope
so.
Yeah.
So how bad would it be for you if you were 17 again?
I mean, it'd be awful because when I was 17, it was awful.
Yeah.
I could at least be gay about it, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But I would still look at every other 17-year-old and be like, I think I'd be angry more. I'd be a lot angrier more because I just couldn't deal with people being that
oh yeah,
vapid
the
and
conversations.
stupid.
So annoying. Yeah.
I'd be fully like, why the fuck does this matter?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm imagining that people that watch this now that are maybe a bit older than us that also have kids are probably all like have a different perspective on it as well, where they're like, yeah, it would be good to go back and actually make sure my kids are doing okay and not be a distant father. And
no, like if I had kids and everything, yeah, but I wouldn't be like, I still wouldn't put up with that. I wouldn't have the patience for it.
No.
I wouldn't have the patience again to deal with people complaining.
I couldn't go back to school. I mean, let alone interact with the teenagers. Just lessons.
I'd probably like completely fuck up what I thought was happening and try and do like a Back to the Future 2 and try and put bets on things that already happened. It's like, no, you're young. It's not been time travel, Dan. It's not this.
I think the wrong Dan. Why are you trying to vote on? It's the same year.
I'm just trying to like go through sports events from when I was 17.
It hasn't happened.
It's like, no, they happened. You're younger. You haven't travelled back in time.
Oh, it must be Freaky Friday then.
I've been Back to the Future too. Oh no.
I currently get quite a lot of stress dreams and stress nightmares where I'm being forced to resit my A levels. I think this would be like a literal nightmare for me.
I think I'd be alright going back to school though, because
I could not pass French A level. I've forgotten all my friends.
Who's saying you're going back to exam time? Like, they wouldn't let you sit exams. You've only been at the school for a week and a half. Like,
very true.
Fuck it. You get to go. You get to go to school. Like the worst part about being in school, other than being at school, was like the pressure of being at the school.
Yeah.
Imagine getting to do it with none of the pressure. You get to just piss about.
I wouldn't go. I just wouldn't go.
Lessons will be fucking easy. Because you don't. Well, if you think back, you don't actually do anything in lessons, right? You learn shit for the exams. If you're not taking the exams, you just get to sit there.
True.
But like, school would be fine. Dealing with teenagers, absolutely fucking not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Also, I can get up early.
Yeah, I think if
I
I
do
was
that
in
for
the
work. That's fine, actually. But I have to get up early every day and not get paid.
Yeah, especially if you're living with a friend who's like a millionaire, you'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just going to enjoy my life.
Yeah, I hadn't accounted for that part because I didn't rescue any now billionaire former school.
None of friends from school are billionaires yet.
No, it's because they've not worked hard enough.
No.
Yeah. And some dickhead had already invented the software to pirate music.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Guys, out of 10, how did this hold up? How did we like it?
I'm going to give it 6 of Zac Efron's packs. Out of
packs of what?
Basketballs.
Yeah, it's got a solid 6-pack in the movie.
Yeah.
It's weird and creepy. It's so creepy in parts.
Creepy.
But it was entertaining, and like part of me is like, what is the creepy thing on purpose? Then I'm like, it is deliberate. It's just that I think as a teenager I wouldn't have necessarily clocked it as that uncomfortable. But yeah, oh my god, yeah. I was just sort of screaming at when he was dancing with his wife. Just screaming like, "What are you doing?" Like, she should know better.
That's a child. That's a full child.
Yeah.
So yeah, 6. Yeah, it was a good time. I'd watch it again, but I don't think it's like one of the greats.
No,
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. I'd have to agree and give it a 6 as well. 6 times I thought, yeah, I'm not having kids. It's all good. I don't have to be 17.
So you will get that basketball scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day.
You might accidentally get 17'd again.
Yeah. And then I'll somehow be like, I've got a podcast scholarship now. Oh no.
You've got the one podcast scholarship to ever exist.
Soon. Once we make enough money.
We can set up a
There's going to be
fund,
a podcast talent scout.
Hey, I loved that scholarship. I think I'm the same. I think I'm like a 6.5 maybe. This film is way better than it should be.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good, but this film is way, way better than it should be. It's dumb. It's so stupid. And even they're kind of aware of it, because there are bits in the film where they're telling you the plot of every fucking body swap movie.
Yeah.
But it's way better than it should be. And I think it is mostly because Zac Efron is really charming in it.
Yeah.
And carries it. He carries this film.
Oh, absolutely.
He carries this film. And I want to know what Ham was saying, because he's got a fucked life. That boy is too angry.
I reckon that he's actually not got abusive parents, just quite neglectful. Like, but they work quite hard. So
yeah,
doesn't see them.
It fully screams like neglectful parents. Not abusive, it screams neglect.
He's that kid from Daddy Daycare if he didn't go to Daddy Daycare.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the kicky one.
Parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was definitely a kicky kid. Stan was definitely a kicky kid.
Yeah, he's pretty feisty teenager as well.
Yeah. Kicky kid.
They should make a sequel to this now, 17 again, and he has to go back to when he was... Stan has to go back to when he was 17 and not be a dickhead.
I would watch that. I would fully watch, like, the Stan equivalent of this, because I feel like it would be, from, like, a home life perspective, and, like, him at school would be really interesting. Actually, no, that would be a really interesting school, is watching someone who was, like, a really horrific bully in school having to do it again.
He's like, fuck yeah.
That would be interesting.
Stops being a little cunt again.
Like, getting to do it all again. That would be cool.
Oh yeah, like what the spirit guide wants is for them to acknowledge that they made the choice to be a bully.
Yeah. And like be
I'm
happy
a cunt
with
and
it
I'm
either
proud.
way. Yeah. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
As a film. But yeah, I think
it's worth a watch.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Far better than it should be.
You can do a lot worse.
On Netflix is the 10th of March, apparently.
Oh shit! Well then,
watch it quick.
Yeah, watch it quick. Yeah. I'll maybe we should wrap this up and then people can go and watch 17 again, even though we just spoiled the whole movie.
I mean, if you couldn't work out the plot of 17
they
again,
tell you at the beginning of the film.
Just watch that one Tomska video where he has the DVD copy of 17 again and drops it in a big hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been Dan.
I've been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
You can find this podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well. You can come and tell us about if you've been 17'd again. We also have
tell us.
Let us know. Be
genuinely fascinated about what happened and how you got 17'd again.
Yeah, we also have a Patreon where you can support the show. What are we doing for this week?
Podcast scholarship.
We're gonna use your money.
We're all gonna get 17'd again.
No, listen. We're gonna use your money. We're gonna go find out a book of spells, right? Really powerful ones, like really, really powerful ones that involve one of us committing suicide, be it for allowing the spell to work. Then we're gonna get a job as a janitor at a school, and we're all gonna be one janitor. We're gonna share the job
in a big janitor jumpsuit.
In a big we're gonna stand on each other's shoulders. They can't discriminate against you for being tall. We're gonna stand on each other's shoulders.
Yeah, they can't discriminate you for having 6 hands.
Yeah,
you just need a longer mop.
Yeah, they can't
6
discriminate
mops
against you.
Yeah.
And then we're going to find
just as way more efficiently. It's fine. Yeah. Someone can dust the top shelf, the middle shelf, and the bottom shelf all at the same time.
And then we wait for... We're essentially more efficient than any other janitor.
Yeah.
Then
that becomes our job and we forget what we were going to do.
Yeah. No, we're going to wait for an adult to come in and stand in front of his old pictures of him on a sports team crying. And then we're going to cast the magical spell on him. and then one of us is going to have to jump off a bridge.
No, all three of us are stacked together. We've all got to jump off
true.
now.
We jump off the bridge into the whirlpool of magic, and we're going to 17 against someone.
It's okay, because you do come back later at the basketball game.
Yeah, you get to do a wink and a smile, and we get to imagine, like, him coming back and we're all stood there like, yes.
Well, you're saying that we have to get a job, but this guy, this janitor didn't actually work there from what we're told.
No,
so we could just turn up one day, pick our victim, and then we wouldn't have to be a janitor?
No, I feel like we're going to have to get the job because we're going to have to be there a while. Bearing in mind,
the UK, yeah.
I feel like that janitor, because people aren't going in to look at schools, they'll just go on Facebook and look at like old photos.
Mm.
And they're like, look at that really tall janitor.
It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, and we're going to say, but yeah, we're going to 17 against someone.